would you do first to get the variables by themselves? Add a 20, right? You would get x squared minus 8x equals positive 20, right? Y'all okay? Then what do we do on the second step?
We divide
Is it plus 8x? Oh, okay, sorry. Divide the second term by 2 and then square it. You get 4 squared. And no matter how hard the problems get, what do you do every single time with that 16? There you go. And then what's 20 plus 16? Okay. And no matter how hard they get, you get to cheat with the simplified number squared. So how do I factor? We don't? Does that already give us what we need? Yep. So Ada, there we go. She is incorrect. But we cannot assume that Alonzo is correct. We got to make sure we're finished. So we'll see. How do we factor this? X plus 4 squared. He's still good, right? Okay, then we square root. Ooh, and what's the square root of 36? Plus and minus 6. If you only write 6, you're only going to get one answer, and you got 2. So you good so far still? Yeah? See, he's not, Alonzo didn't finish. He didn't give me my answers. What's positive 6 minus 4? 2. What's negative 6 minus 4? So technically they're not both right. Alright, so what are we going to write for Alonzo? What did Alonzo do wrong? He didn't finish his answer, right? He didn't tell me what negative 4 plus 6 and negative 4 minus 6 was, okay? So write something about Alonzo on the paper. Okay, what about Ada? What did Ada do wrong? There you go. She didn't add the 16 to both sides, right? Y'all get that for her? Are we okay? All right, what about 18? What do I need to do first in order to solve by graphing? What do I got to do first, guys, in order to solve by graphing? What do I have to do in order to solve by graphing? Combine like terms. What would I do? Add the 2x. Yep. So add the 2x and I would get 5x. There you go. Oh, the pen's not right. All right, then what? Negative 5, right? You subtract the 2 and you get negative 5. What does it equal? Doesn't equal y equals 0, right? Then how do I do this with my calculator? Got your calculator ready to go? Where would I go to solve by graphing? You go to y equals. And when you get to y equals, what would you type in? 5x minus 5, right? And then what button would I hit from there? Hit graph. Huh? Does it say without technology? I thought it said by graphing. This is by graphing. Oh, oops. Gotta read directions. Oops. Okay. Yes. Just a minute, yes. All right, so let's see, what's your y-intercept? -5. And what's your slope? 5/1, there you go. And we know that it should make a line because what's the exponent on the x? 1. That's why you know it's going to make a line, right? Oh, and then it said solve algebraically. Oops. Okay, so you got 2 terms. So, what do we do when we have 2 terms? 3 little letters. Come on, wake up. Here we go. What do we do? 3 little letters. G, C, F. Yes, sir. What is it? 5, which leaves me with x minus 1. Beautiful. And the zero product property said that if we had a 0 and we had a product, we could cut it. x5 equals 0. Not going to do me any good. X minus 1 equals 0 means that x equals 1. And on your quiz next week when we do complete the square and quadratics, what should be happening at x equals 1? Does it? There we go. Everybody okay? All right, next time we need to make sure that I read directions. So, all right, so here we're gonna do ACT. We're gonna do 2 problems, right? Yeah. 26 and 27. We're gonna finish up that ACT page today. The last 2. We're gonna do the back next week. All right. So, yes, sir. Yes, run. All right. How many problems are we doing? How many problems are we doing? 2. So how many minutes do you get? 2. You should not be reading it already. You little cheaters. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Don't get ahead. Y'all okay? Ready? Wait for it. 2, 1, go. 2 minutes. All right, here we go. What about 24? Let's see. The question says, what is the measure of JKL in measurements? Ooh, Lord have mercy. Okay, so we have, this is what we're going to do in Trig. You ready? What we're going to do in Trig. So what you would do, let me just show you, because you don't know how to do this one yet. So you would multiply by pi over 180, okay? This is what we're going to do 4th quarter, okay? But maybe at least that you've kind of seen it, maybe you'll be able to get that in December. Okay, you know the zeros trick? How they'll cancel out? Okay, what about 12 and 18? What number?
3.
6 goes into them. And so that would be pi over 3. 2 pi over 3. Good grief almighty. All right, that is J. Did you get it? Yay! Did y'all just guess, or did you do something? You did guess. All right, let's see. What about in 26? Like, if you take the ACT in June, 26 would be like, I got this by the time we get done with trig. Okay, to be very easy. All right, 27. What's the question say? What is the area in square meters of the rectangle? So how do you do area, guys? You multiply. So you do 3 square root of 5 times 5 square root of 5. What's 3 times 5? 15. 5 times 5 is the square root of 25, which is just 5. Very good. What's 15 times 5? 75, which is A. What's it say? Number 9. Oh, you'll get that? All right, we got to finish that problem from yesterday on, I forgot to put it up there, so we're on page 21. We got to finish that problem from yesterday. I forgot all about that one when I was making our agenda for the day. What was that, number 5, is that right? Okay, and how far did we get?
X squared plus 10 over 3.
X squared plus 10 over 3x.
Plus 25 tonight.
Okay, so we went ahead and did that? All right. All right, everybody got the calculator ready? Got it handy?
What number is that?
Number 5 from yesterday, though. All right, so we do parentheses, a divided by 3 plus parentheses 25 divided by 9, right? Oh, look at this crazy hot decimal. How do we make that crazy decimal into a fraction? Go to math, which is right below the green button. And the very first one is fraction. And what makes my heart so happy about 49 over 9? No, that is positive because it's negative 8 and you add it over, that would be positive 8. What do we know about 49 and 9? They're both perfect squares. There you go. All right, so this is just 49 over 9. Okay? And where did we get to cheat? Because you still have it written on your paper, but I don't. 5 over 3. Was it plus or was it minus? It'd be plus, right? And then it is squared, right? Everybody okay? Jackson, are you with me, dear?
Yes.
Can you turn around, please? Wonderful. Can you turn around for me, please? All right, so we got x plus 5 over 3 equals, what's the square root of 49 over 9?
7.
Ooh, no, it's not. Back it off. Plus and minus. If you just write 7 over 3, no, I don't know what you mean. Because if you're just telling me it's positive 7 over 3. You gotta have both of them. All right, so then we would subtract the 5 over 3, right, guys? Okay, so here we go. We got positive 7, subtract 5. How much is that? 2 over 3. There you go. Okay, then we have negative 7, subtract 5. How much is that? Minus, how much? Oh, you're telling me the answer. Okay, sorry. So negative 7 minus 5 would be negative 12. And then divided by 3 is negative 4. Very good. And you got a quiz next week, okay? And what happens if we were to graph those two? That's where they cross the x-axis, right? So you can check your work. Everybody okay with that? All right, let's go to, let's do page 22. We're just going to do a couple of them. We may not even do 7, 8, and 9. We may just do like 1 or 2 of them. But I really want to practice the ones with the eyes again. And let me look at my notes quickly and see which ones have the eyes, because those are the ones I really want to focus on. Because I know we haven't done a whole lot of those. 8 and 9. Let's do 8 and 9, okay? All right, what will we do first? On 8. Divide everything by 2 and add the 3, right? So can you do all that in your head? In 3 AP, right, Ken? What would I get? I gotta divide by this 2, right? X squared? Yeah.
Yeah, a squared minus 3 over 2.
Minus 3 over 2x, and then minus 3 over 2, right? But can you go ahead and add that minus 3 over 2 to the other side? Can you do that? So that would be equal to positive 3/2. Very good, very good. Everybody okay so far? What was our second step? Divide the second term. Oh, but it's already divided by 2. So you got to do it again, right? Okay? All right, so we got 2 fractions. You don't want 2 fractions, so keep it switch. And every time it will be multiplied by 1/2 because we're dividing by 2 every time, right? So every time it'll be multiplied by 1/2. So it'll be negative 3 over 4 squared, which this is where I can cheat in just a minute, right? What? I just multiplied negative 3 times. Okay, so you had to divide everything by 2 to get rid of this 2 first. That made that negative 3/2, right?
Oh.
That's my second term.
I was thinking.
You okay? All right, and so what do we do with that 9 over 16, guys? There you go. Go ahead and do that. Okay, and you got your calculators? Bless you. What'd you get on this one? 33 over 16, right? Now, I was actually still nice because what do you know about the denominator? It's a perfect square. And remember that you could never have a square root or an I on the bottom of your denominator, right? So that is actually being really nice with that 16. How would we factor this? Very good, very good. All right, everybody okay so far? Anybody not okay? All right, then we square root. We get x minus 3 over 4 equals. Now let's see how good you are. How do we write that guy? Almost. Plus and minus. Very good job. And make sure that you don't write the square root over the 4, okay? Make sure the square root is just over the 33. Just the 33. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Like, don't write it like this. See what I mean? Alright, so now what would I need to do? So we gotta get x back. So add the 3/4, right? Y'all okay with that? Did I lose anybody? Alright, here we go. So we got x equals. We always write our constant in the front when we're dealing with imaginary numbers or with radicals. And then it's plus and minus. Square root of 33 over 4. Do they have the same denominator? Could I add them if they were like? Yes, but since they're not like, we're just going to make it one big old fraction, okay? over 4. Yep. All right, did I lose anybody? Are y'all still with me? All right, let's do number 9. Here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and start number 9, okay? Do what we need to do to start it. See how far you can get. And the bottom of this one's a little bit different, okay? Are you okay so far with that? Negative 25 plus 9? Okay. Yeah, negative 3 squared is plus 9.
Oh, I thought you said just do the first step.
No, go ahead and start it, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I didn't know we were supposed to be going.
Yeah. All right, so that's negative 16, and that would be x minus 3 squared. Y'all good so far with that? Okay, what would I do from here?
Yeah.
Square root, yeah. Alright. When you square root negative 16, what would you get? It's got an I. There you go, guys. Very good. Plus and minus 4i. Very good job. Why did we do the I again? Because it's a negative. Perfect, perfect. Alright, then you would add that 3 over, right? Be a positive 3 plus and minus 4i. Are you okay? All right, here we go. Let's go to quadratic formula. Quadratic formula for today on the next page. On the next page over. Page 23. All right, let's see. Let's start with number 1's an easy one. Here we go. Remember the quadratic formula? We talked about it yesterday a little bit because the teacher screwed up and didn't know what we were doing today.
What page is that?
The next page, over 23. What's quadratic formula, guys? You got it. Keep going. All over 2a, right? Everybody good so far? Remember this from Algebra 1? Okay, let's do just one to remember from Algebra 1. Okay, now the only one that is not equal to 0 was complete the square, right? Everything else better be equal to what number? Not 16. 0. All right, here we go. So we got x squared plus 6x minus 16 equals 0. Then you've got to find your a, your b, and your c. Okay, just for this one, let's write it down because I know y'all can do this in your head. A is the very first number. Get off that phone. What is the very first number? Here. Oh, I know you did not just tell me to hold on here.
Yes, I calculated.
I know. Put that up. Where'd you lose it at?
I know.
Okay. All right, what's B? 6. Did you have it last period?
Hmm?
Did you have it last
Didn't
period?
use it. Only time I used it yesterday was when
Look at it here. Did you put it back in the book? You looked off the
Nothing's
book?
in my truck. I'm about to go to my truck.
Okay. All right. And you're going to see if it's in there?
Yeah.
All right. What about C? What's your C? Negative 16. There you go. Is everybody okay so far with A, B, and C? All right. The more of this you can do in your calculator, the less you got to write down. Okay? We're in pre-AP. Y'all can do that. Here we go. So we got x equals. It's negative b. So all it does is change the sign, right? So it's negative 6 plus and minus. You ready? All right. You got your calculator? I'm going to teach you how to do this because you're not in Algebra 1 anymore. Algebra 1, you're going to show me all those steps. We're in Algebra 2, and it's pre-AP. So here we go. We know our formula is a square root, right? But not everything's always a perfect square. So keep that square root there in case it's not a perfect square. So it's b squared. Make sure you use parentheses just in case it's negative. Don't type in the square root though, okay? Because it may not be a perfect square yet, and you just did all that work for nothing, okay? All right, then minus 4, parentheses, a, and then parentheses, c. Oh, no, 16. What'd you get? 100, right? And in this case, since this is the first problem, guys, it's going to be a perfect square, right? But, and then over 2 times a is just 2. Everybody good so far? All right, so here we go. What's the square root of 100? 10, and you've already got the plus and minus there for you, so you don't have to worry about forgetting it here, okay? So you've got negative 6 plus 10. How much is that? Use your use your calculator. Negative 6 plus 10 enter, right? And then divide by 2, and what do you get? 2. Okay, then you've got negative 6 minus 10, enter. Make sure you hit enter. Then you can hit divide by 2. If you don't hit enter before you divide by 2, your calculator will give you the wrong answer because you told it to do the wrong thing. And what do we get? Minus 8. So what happens on your quiz next week when you get those answers? How can you check them? Go to the graphing calculator, and what should be happening on your graph at these 2 points? Hitting the x-axis. If you wanted to go to your table, what should be happening at your table at these 2 points? There you go. There you go. All right, let's move on and let's skip 2 for a minute. Let's go on to number 3, okay? Go down to number 3. Go down to number 3. Here we go. All right, let's try to see if we can skip some steps. All right, so for quadratic formula, it has to be equal to 0, right? So what's your A? 4. What's your B? Beautiful. What's your C?
2.
All right, so we're going to plug it in. X equals negative B would be the opposite sign, so it would become?
So we don't take it GCF first?
3, 6.
No, not on quadratic formula. When you're factoring, yes, but not on quadratic formula. That was an awesome question. Jesse said, do we not take out the GCF first? We do if we were doing factoring, but not if we're doing quadratic formula, okay? And then plus and minus. Keep your square root there just in case it's not a perfect square. All right, here we go. So you got b squared. You've got to use parentheses, guys, okay? If you don't use parentheses, your calculator will give you the wrong answer. Then minus 4 times a, and then times c. How much did you get? 4. Perfect. Which is just so happens to be a perfect square. And on the bottom you have 2 times a, which is 2 times 4, which is 8. Everybody okay so far? Quadratic formula is very easy when you can do it in your head, okay? So you've got positive 6 plus 2. Where'd I get 2 from? Square root of 4. And then make sure you hit enter. And then divide by 8. And what would you get? 1. Okay, then you've got positive 6 minus 2. Hit enter. And divide by 2. Oh, excuse me, divide by 8. And what would you get? 1/2. There you go. Would I accept 0.5 as an answer on your test? Because it does what? Terminates. It stops, right? If you got like 0.333333333, I would not accept that one, right? Okay, here we go. Let's go to, think you can handle number 4? Okay, you go ahead and start off on number 4. Go ahead and start off on number 4. This one's going to be a tad bit different, though. You said equal to 0 first? Set equal to 0 first. you get 92 inside the square root? Yeah. Squared. You get square root of b. That's fine. Square root of b. Okay. Is 92 a perfect square, guys? Oh my gosh. This is why your crazy math teacher has been doing this stuff for what, 2 months on Math Workshop. How do you do 92? How? What's the perfect square that goes into it? Score the biggest one? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. All right, so this would be -6 plus and minus 2 square root of 23. Where did I get the 2 from? The square root of 4. There you go. And then over 4. Did I lose anybody by skipping that step? Okay. Can you combine those together? Can you add the 6 and the 2? The -6 and the 2?
No.
Why?
Not like.
Because the 2's got what? There you go. Remember when we had to go to second calculate? Go down to 0 and then do the left bound and the right bound of the intercepts, and we got all these crazy decimals? Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
That would be a crazy decimal, right? So you could check it. You could do -6 plus 2 square root of 23 and then divide it by 4, right? And when you went to second calculate on your calculator, do y'all know what I'm talking about? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, because some of you are giving me some crazy looks. So, and then you should get that a very close decimal to that if you wanted to check it on your test. Everybody good? You have to make sure you hit enter before you divide by 4, though, okay? All right, let's move on. Let's go to number 5, and then we'll go back to number 2, okay? Do number 5. That's number 5. It's already equal to 0 for you and everything. What y'all get inside the square root? Beautiful. Look at y'all go. Very nice job. All right. What do you know about square root of -4? Just gonna make it what? 2i, and you've already got the plus and minus there for you, okay? So x equals 6 plus and minus 2i over 2. Now, can you add the 6 and the 2 together or subtract the 6 and the 2 together? No, because the 2's got an I, right? But you can simplify that. There you go. What number goes into all 3 of them? 2. There you go. So 3 plus and minus I. Did that other one reduce? Were we supposed to do that?
Yes.
Did it reduce on number 4? Ah, golly. What was it?
X equals -3 plus and minus.
So before that. Over 4? Man, wow, I didn't even check that. Okay, so go back to number, what was this, 4? Go back to number 4, okay, guys? Look at these numbers that do not have square roots. What do you notice about all 3 of those? Divide by 2. I'm so sorry I did not catch that. There we go. That should be your answer on number 4. Y'all okay? What number's right here inside of the square root? 1. but you don't
Teachers
have
and students, can I have your attention, please? I
Number
need
2.
your
Y'all got
attention
number
for
2,
an important
okay.
announcement. We are very proud to announce and recognize our 2017-2018 Teacher of the Year, as voted on by our faculty and staff, and for the first time, our students. We proudly recognize Ms. Charlie Hamlin as Thompson High School's Teacher of the Year for 2017-18.
Yay.
Congratulations, Ms. Hanlon, and thanks for all that you do for our students and our school.
Yay.
This was Hamlet teach.
Spanish, and I think that she do like a class of help or something too. Foreign culture or something like that. Okay. Sweet. I love Miss Hamlin. She's sweet lady. All right. So we set it equal to 0 first, right, guys?
Well, probably 6 over there, so what?
Is it 6?
Yeah.
Whenever I pulled it off of website, I pulled it off of like that. It's not always going to be 6. These were just good examples, so it just came out to be 6. I just realized that they were all 6. All right, let's see. What y'all get inside the square root? Yeah, look at y'all go. I'm gonna ace this quiz, right?
What is that quiz?
Probably Tuesday. Probably Tuesday.
I thought we had another quiz Tuesday.
We have a perfect cubes test coming, but it'll probably be more like Thursday. Okay. What's the square root of 0, guys? 0. So the only thing that you've got is 6 over 2, which is 3. So what would happen if you were to graph this guy? It only hits once, right? Y'all okay? All right. So we finished all that. We finished complete the square. We'll do one more thing on the back of that page on Monday, and then we will take our quiz on Tuesday, okay? Perfect cubes test. Let's just go ahead and get it all out of the way. We'll do our quiz on Tuesday, and we'll do our test on Tuesday, okay? So do you have your perfect cubes still from the back of your study guide on matrices? Back of your study guide of your matrices study guide? Back of your matrices study guide. You have those? I know we looked at them once or twice already, but we've kind of been flying, getting through some things. And Thursday next week, you know that first and second period, we have the Veterans Day Assembly, which doesn't really affect this class much. But then Friday, Yeah, 1 through 10, yeah. When you get to pre-cal, you'll do a few more. But this is, guys, these are so important for Chapter 5, okay? They're like, hopefully you learned your lesson from your Complete the Square. For some of us that don't know the square root of like the 19s and 20s and 21s and stuff, that we didn't take it seriously. Hopefully we've learned our lesson and we'll take these seriously because they're coming soon, right? Friday we're out of school next week because it's Veterans Day. Yep. All right. What is the first perfect square? Go. 1. What's the next one? Excuse me, not perfect square, perfect cube. All right, so we got 1, we got 8. What's the next one? 27. Keep going. Yep. Yeah, everybody, come on. Keep going. 2 more. How in the world did they get all of these numbers? 3 times, right? So you multiply 4 times 4 is how much? 16, and then 16 times 4 would be 64. So if you're on your test on Tuesday for your perfect cubes test, and you blank because you can't use a calculator, and you don't know what it was, how would you get this one? You would do 5 times 5 is 25, and then 25 times 5 on like longhand, right, from elementary school, and you'd be able to get that one. Y'all okay? All right, we'll go over it again on Monday, and then Tuesday is your quiz for Complete the Square and Quadratic Formula, and your perfect cubes test, okay?